It's unbelievable, man. This show is unbelievable. Hey, how is everybody? Welcome to the channel. Special welcome if you are new here. All we talk on this channel is action, adventure, sci-fi, and fantasy. So if that's your thing, you love to talk about that in your movies or your TV shows, you have happened to have stumbled upon the best community on YouTube to talk about those things. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell and join the community. Also, make sure you stay to the end of this video. I have something very exciting and important to share with you. Now, let's get into it. Let me tell you guys something. I've said it to you before. If you're not watching Warrior on Cinemax, if for any other reason that for somehow you can't, then it is a mistake because this show, woo! This show keeps getting better and better and better. I'm almost speechless, man. The story in this show is so good. You guys really should be watching this show, especially if you like martial arts action. The show is much more of a drama, but oh man, it's really, really good. We are talking episode 8 today, which is They Don't Pay Me Enough to Think, and man, can I tell you, it's really, really good. So at the end of episode 7, we start with the Tong War kind of like officially beginning. Basically, like we have two sides lined up and they're about to go at each other. We have Long Z over here, and then we have Father Jen and the Hot Way over here, and that's where episode 7 ends. Well, we pick right back up on that spot at episode 8, and the two are going at it. Several folks are slaughtered from each side, and basically they make the decision that this needs to stop. So a meeting is called between Long Z and between Father Jen, and they discuss a truce. Everybody's saying, listen, this is not really good for Chinatown. Too many people are dying. This is not good for us as a whole. Or at least that's what we think is being brokered here. Really, both sides are kind of playing the game against each other, but they do have these peace talks, and the whole idea is the best way to settle this is really a duel. You take your best fighter and we're going to take our best fighter, and whoever wins that match will settle the grudge, and that will be that, and we will respect our different positions in terms of what we're doing in Chinatown. We have a setup for a duel, and we know what's happening there, right? If you're following the show, you know that Li Yong is going to fight Assam. So we have that setup coming for episode 9, and let me tell you, I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that matchup, because from what we've seen so far, Assam is not a match for Li Long, and I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I think I am. I'm pretty sure I am. If I'm not, somebody let me know. So we've got that whole setup going, but a lot more is going on in the story as well. We see things politically kind of coming to a head, and it's really interesting now as all this wheeling and dealing is done, and Chinatown really being at the center of it, and then the government trying to send a message that, listen, we're not going to let this madness go on in Chinatown, so they're trying to position themselves to step in to make themselves look better. Penelope is fed up with all that's going on as she finds out about the war between the Hop Way and the Long Z, and she knows basically that Assam has been involved in it. So those two connect again, and she was like, listen, where were you last night? I was waiting for you. You never showed up. Assam says, I had something to do, but she's aware of what's going on. So basically she breaks off that relationship. She says, I can't have anything else to do with you, man. You are a criminal. And you know that hurts Assam because the two of them really love each other. You know that hurts her as well. And she says, when you go, do not come back. And Assam leaves. So that's really heavy for Assam. I mean, he loves this girl. And at this point, this is the end of this relationship. So he's already got a lot on his plate. Now, later on, he's going to find out about the duel between he and Li Long, which adds more pressure to him. So in this episode, Assam begins to spiral a little bit out of control until he has a talk with a toy who's like, listen, you're tripping. You need to get yourself together, brother, because you are about to have the duel of your life. Quite literally, it could be the duel of your life. And you're in here in the bar getting drunk, fighting people. But she's like, listen, I'm done. I'm done helping you. If this is what you want to do, then that's fine. So Assam is basically almost standing by himself. And at the end of this episode, we also see his sister come and say, listen, you got to do something. you got to get hurt in battle. You got to get hurt in practice. You got to do something because you're not going to win this. You cannot beat him. And Assam again, another wait, like thanks for the vote of confidence, but basically Assam is going to go through with it. So there's so much going on in this episode. Not to mention what's happening with the Irish as well, as they are even further dissatisfied with their position and basically being upset that the Chinese are taking all of their jobs because they're working for a lot less money. So there's so much going on in episode 8, which is really setting us up for a great episode 9. Man, when I tell you this show keeps getting better and better, guys, hear me out, ladies and gents. You should be watching this show if at all possible. It is very, very good. I would say definitely worth the $9 it is to sign up for Cinemax. If that's in the budget, go ahead and factor it in because this show looks really, really good. Now, I've said before that what I love about this show is the performances. It's such a good drama with characters that are so interesting, that have so many different layers, so many kind of subplots going on within the larger plot of what's happening in San Francisco with each character. That's what makes the show fascinating. As you learn more about the characters in this, it makes the show so good. The drama of this show is so good. I love the martial arts in this show as well, but actually I enjoy the drama even more. The martial arts action is really just an accent to the broader story that brings this thing together to make it a really, really good show. Now, I want to say this because in the comments, some of you guys have mentioned that the racial focus in this show is a lot. It's a lot to take. And for sure, I've said before, they don't cut any corners, man. They tell it like it is. And they are really trying to display what it was like racially at that time. I will say, though, I think that in some way, shape, form, or fashion, this can actually hurt the broader appeal of the show because I think people are going to feel all different types of ways about this. I think that some are going to feel like they're being preached to. It's kind of heavy-handed with how they display the racial inequities in, which I think is a little bit ridiculous. It's just my personal opinion. And the reason I say that is this isn't a show just kind of give a racial message or a message about racial equality. It is a show that is depicting what was going on at that time. And if this was the political and social atmosphere, then it is what it is, and they should tell the story like it is. But I do think that that potentially can hurt the show's broader appeal just because there's some people that are not going to want to see that or are not going to want to deal with that in their entertainment content, which is fair enough. I mean, if that's the case, if that's how they're feeling, then of course they don't have to watch the show. But what I'm telling you is that this show is really, really good, and we will be covering it episode by episode on this channel. So if you are a fan of Warrior, please make sure that you share it with other folks that you know that love the show. We're always looking for folks that love the kind of things that we love to talk about to join the community, so make sure that you share it with others. Now, a quick note about Into the Badlands, and this is important, guys. So I'm going to post right here in a card, and I'll put a card in the description of the video below, or a link in the description of the video below, where you can share your comments about Into the Badlands. You can share how much you love that show. I already sent that link to Daniel Wu and just asked him to share it with folks from the cast and the crew and all that. And basically that whole video is us just sharing our appreciations about how much we love the show. So what you would do is you watch it, you just hop down in the comments and tell why you love Into the Badlands. And I wanted to share that with you on this video because I know that a lot of us that are watching Warrior are also big fans of Into the Badlands. So guys, we want to flood that show with thank you, welcomes, well wishes. So make sure you click the link in the description and hop over there and share your thoughts about why you love Into the Badlands. We are still pushing to save the show. We've not heard anything of what I know. No one's picking the show up so far, but we're still giving the push to do so, and nothing beats a failure but a try. I'm going to the next video. I will meet you guys there. I will also see you guys in the comments, and with that, peace.